Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a report from Flutter Entertainment, and no, it's not about butterflies. We're actually going to talk about a major acquisition in the world of online betting. But are they betting on the right horse, or are they going to lose their shirt? Let's find out. This is an 8K filing, which is basically a quick update a company sends to the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, when something important happens. In this case, it's about Flutter Entertainment and an acquisition they made. An acquisition is when one company buys another. Flutter Entertainment released an announcement about their previously announced plan to buy Snaitech SPA. This announcement was released via the regulatory news service in London. It means that something has changed in the deal, or there is an important event that just happened. We're going to dig into what that something is. This part just lists the exhibits, which are extra documents attached to the 8K. The important one here is the RNS announcement dated April 9, 2025. RNS stands for Regulatory News Service, which is how companies in London Stock Exchange share important news. We'll focus on what that announcement says. This section is like the company's official stamp. It confirms that the information provided is accurate to the best of their knowledge. Fiona Gildea, the Deputy Company Secretary and Head of Governance, signed the report on behalf of Flutter Entertainment. Now let's move on to the fun part and that RNS announcement, because that's where all the actual information will be. Unfortunately, the 8K filing itself doesn't give us the details of the announcement. Instead, it only tells us that there's an announcement, and the key announcement would be in Exhibit 99.1. Since we don't have access to that actual announcement, we can't dig into the financials or the reasons behind this acquisition of Snaitech. However, generally speaking, when a company makes an acquisition, there is a reason for it, and there are a few key reasons this might have happened. One, Snait might have a technology or a market share or a product or something that Flutter wants. It's something they don't have or something they're not good at, and Snaitech does a really good job at it. By buying them, they're essentially buying that technology or that expertise or that customer base. Two, it's about market share. Maybe Snaitech has a large presence in a specific geographic area. Maybe it's Italy, for example, and Flutter wants to expand into that market. Rather than building everything from the ground up, they just buy a company that already has a strong foothold there. Three, it could be about cost savings or synergy. By combining the two companies, they can eliminate duplicate roles, streamline operations, and negotiate better deals with suppliers. This leads to lower costs and higher profits. Four, it can be about diversification. Maybe Flutter wants to expand into different areas of the gambling and entertainment industry. Snaitech might have operations in areas like physical betting shops, which could offer Flutter diversification and allow it to spread its risk across different areas. And finally, it could be simply a defensive move. Maybe Flutter is worried about a competitor buying Snaitech and becoming a bigger threat. By buying Snaitech themselves, they can prevent that from happening and maintain their competitive position. Without knowing the details of the RNS announcement, we can't see if the acquisition will be successful, but here are a few things we can consider when judging the success of an acquisition. First, the price that they paid. Was it a fair price, or did they overpay for Snaitech? If they overpay for Snaitech, if they overpay for Snaitech, if regulators don't approve the acquisition, the deal could be blocked or significantly changed, which could affect Flutter or this mean for Flutter. If they everyone pay for second cultural integration. Do the two companies have compatible cultures? If not, there could be clashes and difficulties in integrating the two businesses, which could decrease the value of the acquisition. A third, regulatory approvals. Will regulators approve the acquisition? If regulators don't defer forth a debt, how is Flutter paying for this acquisition? Did they take on a lot of debt? If they did, it might limit future opportunities, so again, cultural integration. Do the two companies have compatible cultures? If not, there could be clashes and difficulties in integrating the two businesses, which could decrease the value of the acquisition. If regulators don't approve the acquisition, if regulators don't are paying for this acquisition. Did they take on a lot of debt? If they did, it might limit future opportunities. So what does all this mean for Flutter? Well, on one hand, acquiring Snaitech could be a smart move. It could give them access to new markets, new technologies, and new customers. It could also help them to save money and become more efficient. It seems like it will expand Flutter's reach in Italy, which is a market with a lot of growth potential. Snaitech has a strong brand and a good understanding of the Italian market, so this acquisition makes sense on paper. On the other hand, acquisitions are always risky. There's a chance that Flutter could overpay for Snaitech, that the two companies could clash culturally, or that regulators could block the deal. There's also the risk that Flutter takes on too much debt to finance the acquisition. Ultimately, whether or not this acquisition is a success will depend on how well Flutter manages the integration of Snaitech and how well they execute their strategy. It's going to depend on how well they can navigate any potential regulatory hurdles. Overall, Flutter Entertainment seems to be trying to grow and expand its reach. They are one of the largest players in the online betting world. While it's difficult to say if they overpaid for Snaitech without having more information, they must have seen something they liked. They might think that the cost savings and the new market reach that they'll get from it are worth the risk. We'll have to wait and see how this deal plays out in the coming years. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more corporate deep dives. Let us know in the comments what company we should decode next.